Something doesn't square. 90 lower on the Nifty and 130 on the Sensex. I mean, I think actual start now on your screen. What do we have? It's down 0.25% on the Bank Nifty. The Nifty is down about around that much, 0.25% or so. 24,400 in the Nifty and 52,200 in the Nifty Bank. Look at the Sensex, which is starting down about 0.25%. Mid-cap index is absolutely flattish, is it? Advanced decline, 800 up and about 500 lower, so not very much difference there. So 90 points now lower, so about 1/3%, 0.4% or so on the Nifty. I think you got about 40 stocks on the Nifty heat map which are starting lower and about 10 which are starting in the green. Let's get down straight to individual names. Result reactions, of course, top of mind. Surabhi.
Okay, well, 80 odd points lower, 87 points lower right now. Cipla is really taking it on the chin, about 4% lower on that stock. Dr. Reddy's is also starting weak, as is Sun Pharma. So some of the pharma names are really cooling off. Then you have Reliance, which is putting in a lot of pressure on the downside. The Nifty, by the way, is now down a whole 100 points. Aside of Reliance, let's see what else is losing ground. There's Tata Steel, there's Hindalco from the metals pack, there's also ONGC, some of these commodity names not really holding on too well. There's more selling on M&M, down about 2% as well. Bajaj Finance, SBI Life, these are some of the the BFSI names which have started lower. On the flip side, Maruti, maybe it's a little bit of a pullback after yesterday's drubbing. There's a little bit of buying on Tata Motors, and there's ITC, and then it really fizzles out. There's absolutely no leadership for the Nifty, at least at this point in time. Some of the IT names are trying to fight back, but let's see if they can do that in a more meaningful way, because right now, Tech Mahindra, Wipro, they're all at the flat line. HDFC Bank is at the flat line. So I think we have a lot of heavyweights which are yet to make up their real mind. But as of now, yeah, the bears have it as we open out for trade.
Well, I think we've got a couple of earnings reactions. We should take note of that. Deepak Fertilizers, I think the numbers came in late yesterday in the second half of trade. The stock had ended higher. It's building onto those gains. So big up move is what we're seeing out there. Keynes Technology as well. Good up move is what we're seeing out there. Those numbers look pretty good. The street liked it as well. So that stock as well is up close to around 5%. TD Power has been going from strength to strength. Well, that stock as well is up in the initial trade. I think it was up close to around 5%. Management has been sounding optimistic about business and saying that utilization levels have ramped up dramatically. So TD Power is another stock that's up 3%. Force Motors, lower volumes, but that as well has opened up with a sharp gain. Last time I checked, it was up close to around 7 to around 8%. So Force Motors comes up for you on the screen. Now 16% up. Big move. That one is flying away. So keep an eye out on that one. On the flip side, Honeywell not reacting too well to its numbers. So that stock is down, I think, close to around 3%. Pullback is what we're seeing out there. Voltas as well, it started off in the green with a gain of around 2%. Quickly got sold into. The stock is down close to around 3%. 5-star, the numbers were very, very good. But I was reading a couple of brokerage notes, and now they're taking into account that earlier they were talking about growth of around 35%. Then they scaled it back to around 30%. And now they're talking about a 25% growth for FY25. Not just that, they have taken a decision to lower their yields by around 200 basis points starting November. So that's why 5-star should come up for you on the screen. The performance looked very, very good, but now they're scaling back their growth guidance. They're also scaled back in terms of their yields, which in turn could have some impact on the NIMs, but that will come with a lagged effect. So that's why that stock is down, closer around 4%.
All right, Nigel, let's a few other stocks, right, on your screen. Zomato is down about 1.6%. It's the second biggest volume-led gainer. I only mentioned that it's not a big price damage or anything, but the Swiggy IPO is around the corner, and I think there will be you will hear a lot of comparisons between Swiggy and Zomato, and the valuation difference, etc., etc. So that's a very, very well-known name. So 3 million shares now already on it. The biggest volume-led cut is coming through in Torrent Pharma, which is down about 3% or so, and I think others we've largely all covered. Shriram Finance went up, I think, about 4% yesterday. It's giving back about half of it. It's down 2% for now. Hoodco, we will hear from the management in a bit. It's down about 1.25% or so. Look at Dr. Reddy's. Dr. Reddy's is starting about 3% lower. So that's a sharp cut. I think in 2 or 3 days flat, it's come down from, I think, about 1350 odd levels to where it is right now. Sun Pharma is, of course, also down about 2.25%. Look at Chennai Petro. Chennai Petro is starting about 2.5% lower. MGL is down another 2% or so, so no recoveries here. Policy Bazaar 1.25% lower. There is Piramal Pharma down about 1.5%. So yeah, I mean, a fair bit moving. I must say, market breadth so far is positive. Poonawalla Finance it's seen a big yo-yo lately. So the low 2 days back, actually a day before, the 28th was, let me just tell you what the low was 270, from 270 to 350. And this is the second day in that rebound. HCC is coming up. It's got completely smashed, 40 rupees, but up about 4% this morning. Capacite Infra, that's up about 4%. Yesterday was up 10%. So again, sold off very sharply and then has come up. It's got some, big-sized HNI investors in it. Senco is up about 4%. Senco is another turnaround because yesterday was down on the rumors that, I think it was IT raids or something. It was down at almost 10% at one point, recovered and closed lower, and that's coming up sharply this morning as well. Surabhi.
I'm looking at probably, the one that is the earnings pataka of the morning, and that has to be Force Motors. The stock's still up about 16-17%. Profits are up about 45%. Top line's improved by about 8% So it seems that it's been really strong going. And the volumes are picking up on Force Motors as well. On the other side, I think the reaction to even numbers like Hitachi is very interesting, and it's kind of giving us a glimpse into the market's mind. Hitachi, there was nothing wrong with the numbers. In fact, there's margin expansion of 170 basis points for Hitachi. Top line's done well as well, so the execution is on track. But I think the argument is going to be on valuations. For a stock that's up 150% already this calendar year, is this good enough? And I think right now the market's not in a very charitable mood. So Hitachi is cooling off. And the other one, of course, Honeywell, there's a problem there with the numbers itself. So from the same kind of category, capital goods, some of these MNC plays. So Hitachi is kind of cooling off on good numbers, and Honeywell anyway has not been spared because the quarter wasn't that, it didn't play out that well for them.
Absolutely. Look at Voltamp as well. Voltamp has been sold off. The high, I think, was about nearly 15,000 rupees just 20-30 days back. It's down to about 10,700, but it's coming up with about a 3.5% pop. So that, again, transformer space and stock, of course, even with this correction, has done exceedingly well. So keep that in mind.
Just quickly, by the way, look at auto. I think the market's now trying to sort of buy into the pessimism and maybe hoping that, remember, a lot of the OEMs have told us this, that don't go by the first 15 days, wait for the entire season to get out. It's not as bad. And maybe the market's trying to buy into that narrative ahead of the event because we'll have the numbers come the first. Yeah. And all the auto stocks, Tata Motors, Maruti, Bajaj Auto, Hero Motor, all of them seeing buying right now.
Absolutely.